In this video, we're going to be solving a system of equations. And as we solve this system, we're actually going to see that there are no solutions. So we have 2x minus y equals -3, and we have 2x squared plus 4x minus y squared equals 0. So we're going to go ahead and begin this by taking a look at our equations and choosing one of them to get the variable by itself, because we're going to use substitution here. So this particular equation looks a little bit simpler. So I'm going to take the 2x minus y equals -3, and this y squared is a little bit inconvenient. So I'd really like to get the y to go away. So I am going to solve for the y here. And I chose the y again because that's what I want to replace. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. And that's going to give me a negative y equals a -2x minus 3. And then from here, I'll divide both sides, well, everything really, by -1. Let's clean that up. Here we go. And so that's going to give me a y equals a positive 2x plus 3. All right, so now we're going to take this and we're going to plug that in to this piece right there. So that. All right, so that's what we have when we plug that in. Now, we have a squared right here, which means we actually need to FOIL this or distribute that out. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to come down here and we're going to do 2x plus 3 quantity squared. So 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3. So 4x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 9, or 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. And so that's what's going to be right there. All right, and so from here we see a negative sign. So we actually need to distribute our negative to all of those pieces. And so that's going to give us a 2x squared plus 4x minus a 4x squared minus a 12x minus a 9 equals 0. And I'm going to combine my like terms. So I see that I have some x squareds here, so that's going to be a -2x squared. I've got a couple x's here. That's going to be a -8x. And then I've got my -9 equals 0. I'd really like to get rid of that negative sign, so I'm just going to divide everything by -1. And so now I've got 2x squared minus 8x, plus 8x plus 9 equals 0. And so from here, I'm going to go ahead and use the quadratic formula here. So I have an a value of 2, a b value of 8, and a c value of 9. So remember, we have x equals plus or minus, x equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. So I'm going to plug in my values here. So I have a b value of 8, and then so my a is a 2, and my c is a 9. Again, my a is a 2. So here, that's going to give me a -8 plus or minus. On the denominator, I'm going to have a 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and multiply that out. So if I take my calculator and I put in 8 squared minus 4 times 2 times 9, I'm going to get a -8. So the square root of -8. Now what we know is that we can't have a negative on the inside. Can't have a negative on the inside here. And so we're not going to have any real solutions. We're only going to have imaginary solutions. So I know that the square root of 8, I can break that down, 4 and a 2, some other 2's, and I'm going to get 2 square root 2. But because it was a negative on the inside, right, because of that negative, let's use a red, that gives me an I out here too. So what I have is x equals -8 plus or minus 2i radical 2 over 4. And then 2 goes into all these numbers. So 2 goes into 8. So -4 once, twice. This can actually be rewritten as x equals -4 plus or minus I times radical 2 all over 2. And so this would be the solution if we were trying to find imaginary solutions. But ultimately here we have no real solutions. We only have imaginary. So we call this, basically it's the no real solutions or no solution case.